Well, welcome back. Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson, a neurosurgeon who knows a little bit about medicine, says the size of the federal government needs to be reduced. And the first thing he says needs to go, interestingly, the VA. Could he have a point? Just this week, we learned workers at the Memphis VA abandoned paralyzed veterans, leaving them to sit alone for hours. And one decorated Vietnam veteran had to wait for a year for his post-traumatic stress medicine because someone at the VA changed his name to Cuckoo Lane. A lot of problems at the VA across the board that we've heard about on this show for a long time, and we're going to debate this, what Dr. Carson said. Here to debate it is Arizona VA whistleblower and a former U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Brandon Coleman, and another Marine here with us, veteran Nathan Fletcher, himself a former California assemblyman. Fellow Marines, thank you very much for joining us, the two of you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Brandon, hey, you're a whistleblower at Phoenix where the scandal started. The VA, is it a system that needs to stay or does it need to be fundamentally overhauled?
I think it needs to be fundamentally overhauled. I mean, if you take my case, for example, I came forward as a whistleblower because suicidal veterans were freely walking out of the hospital. I went to the news media, Congress, the Office of Special Counsel, and the day after I went to the news media, the director held a secret meeting, his name's Glenn Griffin, and proposed my termination. When he was told we can't terminate him because he's protected as a whistleblower, the counsel for the VA said, but we can come up with adverse employee actions. Less than 2 weeks later, I was removed under charges that I had threatened another employee. So we can actually use a lot of accountability at the VA.
Well, Nathan, that's a great point. Here's a whistleblower who stands up. It seems the whistleblowers are the only ones getting fired these days. You've said that the VA might need mountains of change. What kind of change is needed to overhaul it?
Well, I want to start off by saying we talk a lot about heroes in the context of military and those who serve, but Brandon, who's sitting here with us, is a true hero because he put himself out there to expose the problems and the deficiencies where our veterans are not being served. And so I, as a vet, I appreciate that because if we're not made aware of the problems, we can't begin to change them. Look, at its core, I don't think anyone's been more critical of the Veterans Administration. But we are an incredibly industrious people. We managed to put a man on the moon. We have built little missiles that can go in a window all the way around the world. We have it within our capacity to design a system where we can screen, evaluate, and treat veterans. We just need the same focus and attention on caring for them that goes into making them. And if we'll do that, then we can fulfill our obligation to serve our veterans. But what has happened is a disgrace, and I agree with everyone who says that. I disagree with Dr. Carson. You can't end it. You can't just say, well, we're just not going to honor our commitment. We have to fix it, and we know we have the ability to do that.
Well, there's no disputing, Nathan, absolutely, that we want to honor our commitment, but this is a country that sent a man to the moon but can't get a health care appointment for a veteran in a timely fashion. Brandon, do you believe choice? Hold on, Brandon, do you believe real choice is what's needed? If a veteran had a choice, that's what Dr. Carson is ultimately talking about here. Go to a VA facility or go to a private provider if necessary.
Absolutely. I support choice. As a disabled veteran, I feel that if the Phoenix VA is giving the level of service that I earned by serving this country, then I should be able to go to the Phoenix VA. If the Phoenix VA is not giving top-notch service, then I earn the right to go to a private provider. And that does, you know, something right there. It makes the Phoenix VA step up their game. It's called competition. If the Phoenix VA improves their service, then I could come back to them. If I don't feel they've improved their service, then I have the right to go get care where I choose to get care.
Nathan, what do you say about choice as a solution to these problems?
Well, I don't have a choice. If the choice is between a well-functioning VA that we hold accountable and do it, but that's not what Dr. Carson proposed. What he proposed was a privatization, the fact that we're going to give you a voucher or an HSA and send you out into the street. And I would say that veterans have unique circumstances. You know, if you're someone who has not had your limbs ripped from your body from an IED, if you haven't had your bones crushed by a fully automatic weapon, if you don't suffer from massive post-traumatic stress, then you can get a voucher and roll down to Walgreens and see the nurse. But if you're someone who has, we need to design a care delivery system that is uniquely tailored and specifically designed and built for you.
Sure.
One that is not focused on profit, it's focused on care. So I don't care if vets want routine care and there's a better way to do it. I don't have a problem with that option. But I think a lot of what's being proposed is just do away with the VA and kick everyone out into the
Nathan,
system.
Brandon,
I don't support that.
Understand. And Dr. Carson did talk about making sure specialized VA services are provided. But hey, Brandon, Nathan, two Marines still fighting for their country. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You got it.